So if you could, would you be able to just give me a brief description of how a typical day goes for you, and how your disability affects you in any way and how that works out for you?
You know, I don't feel like it affects me that much most of the time. Sometimes I think I have really, really bad ADHD.
Okay.
You know how I mentioned earlier, you know, when I worked at the salon, I would always get really distracted, when I was bored. You know, sometimes I'll be online or BuzzFeed or Facebook or something, you know, when I'm not busy with anything, and I'll look at the clock and I'm oh my god, hours have passed.
Okay.
So, you know, if I don't have stuff that I need to be doing, I get really off task.
Okay, so
which
you
is,
get real involved
yeah,
in something else.
So, you know, I really like making lists of things that I need to do, and I have a calendar where I write everything down.
Planners and stuff.
Yeah, I like being organized as much as I can, because you know, it keeps me on task, and that way I don't get distracted. Well, hopefully I wouldn't get distracted, you know, by Facebook and all that stuff, you know.
Okay, yeah, so just some distraction factors are sort of in the way, but
yeah, just staying on task. It's something I've struggled with, but I think I'm getting better with it. You know?
It sounds like you've really found some techniques to help remedy that situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, just other random things sometimes bother me, you know, loud noises or you know, if someone's tapping a pencil or something, that can bother me.
Okay.
But, you know, other than that, I you know, I just kind of have a short attention span, but for the most part, I don't feel like I have any major problems day to day, you know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I appreciate it. And then just moving along with some more personal factors. How is your support systems, you know, family and friends? Would you be able to elaborate a bit on how that is in for you?
Yeah. Well, I live at home still. And, you know, they're really supportive. I feel really comfortable with them. They're always, you know, encouraging me and whatnot and giving me support. So for the most part, you know, my family life is really good. I do have an older sister, you know, and sometimes we fight or whatever, but, you know, she's only a year older than me, so that'll happen. But yeah, you know, I live at home still, but ideally I would really, really like to, live on my own. You know, I'm 21, I'd really like to get out on my own, you know, be independent, you know, get my own place and whatnot, but my mom doesn't really think I'm ready yet, so that's something we always kind of, you know, bash heads about, but other than that, she's really supportive of, my, job decisions and, that type of stuff.
Okay, so she's supportive career-wise, but in a sense of you being out on your own, she doesn't think that it's a good idea.
Yeah, she's just a little concerned, you know, she doesn't think I'm ready to, live on my own yet, so she doesn't want me to. But it's probably, one of my biggest goals right now is to, go and live on my own.
Okay. Interesting. Well, you know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, as we create this plan together, we address personal, vocational, and independent living goals, so... You know, if that's something you want to see for yourself in the long run, we can definitely discuss that further.
Yeah.
And create some sort of longevity as to what that would look like for you. And, you know, are you considering, you might have mentioned this before, I apologize, but were you considering somewhere local and close
you know,
by,
ideally,
or?
I would really like to live somewhere, close to home. Right now, I currently don't have a car. I used to.
Okay.
But you know, I wasn't really responsible with the costs and the payments and stuff, so I had to sell it. Which I think is probably, you know, why my mom is so nervous about me living on my own. Because I guess, you know, I'm not really that financially responsible. You know, I don't know how to budget my money and all that. So right now I don't have a car. So you know, I kind of would have to stay somewhere close to home. I know there's public transportation and all that stuff, but and this might seem weird, you know, but I hate taking the bus or trains or anywhere because I'm always really scared I'm gonna get lost. So I just I hate public transportation. I don't know how it works.
Okay. So it's a little confusing, public transportation wise, and at this point in time, a vehicle is not within your possession.
No,
Would
not
you
right
be
now.
open to learning about public transportation? Because we're public transportation whizzes over here, and we can, sit down with you, and again, that could be
Yeah,
another
I'd be
piece.
willing.
Yeah, I mean, should career options line up within the transportation or public transportation area, we could definitely sit down and, map it out and make step-by-step lists as to what would, times and
Okay.
routes. And, you and I could definitely
Because it's confusing.
take a trip together to see, how it would work out wherever you
Yeah.
are, wherever you're employed at. So that's definitely a possibility. In the meantime, I know overall a vehicle is always the best,
Yeah, like I'm
That's
really
fine.
trying to figure out some ways where, or like I'm trying to be like more responsible with my money. So,
Mhm.
saving up for a car, saving some money to move out and get my own place, things like that. But, like I'm really just not that good with money. Like I
Yeah.
have a bank account and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But if I have money, I tend to spend it.
Okay.
So what I would really like to work on is like setting up like a plan,
Yeah.
like a timeline kind of like
Yeah,
when, when I can have like deadlines to like figure all
Pay
this stuff
off
out.
certain
Yeah,
things. Sure. I know you're expressing that you're not that good with money management,
Mhm.
but being able to acknowledge the fact and be aware of the fact that you want to work towards gaining some financial independence and understanding what that's all about, that's huge.
Mhm.
Some people, it's just, what I'm seeing with you is that you're definitely ready, willing, and able
Yeah.
to make this happen for you.
Yeah.
And, we can definitely address that and go step
Yeah.
by step and learn
Like
how to
I'm an
tackle it.
adult now, so like I really want to prove to my
Sure.
mom that like I can like handle all these things on my own.
Independence, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So awesome. All good things that we can definitely work on. So the independent living piece, possible transportation public-wise, and overall maybe a car in the long
Mhm.
run. And then some money management techniques. So
Yeah.
we can definitely make note of all of that and figure out, address those later on in
Mhm.
future sessions for sure. Get a comprehensive plan in order that makes
Yeah,
sure that all
perfect.
those are in order. Great. Well, it appears that now I'm just going to kind of wrap up with some future education plans.
Okay.
So, or training, which, goes hand in hand with your situation. I know
Mhm.
that you have gone through, you have your high school degree, you have your cosmetology license,
Mhm.
and now you are looking into the CNA program,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to give you a brief overview of what that's going to look like, I'm sure as you know, when you had to get your cosmetology license, there was a test at the end in order
Mhm.
to obtain that. Same goes for CNA programs. So, of course, you're going to be back in the school
Mhm.
setting and learning about the different skills and knowledge and abilities that are
Mhm.
involved in certified nursing assistant work. And a test will be provided at the end. And so, just in order to gain a good sense of where you're at with that, I know you've expressed on the job training,
Mhm.
and testing is always your most favorable form. Should there be a paper pencil test in place, you explained earlier that in high school you had some extended time.
Yeah, I would get like extra time to take tests. Like sometimes teachers would like help me create like a study guide or something like that, or like give me like handouts and notes and stuff like that sometimes. But like just like working with study skills if I do have to take that paper and pencil test, just like, having like the good like helpful hints or whatever, like vocab, like flashcards, things like that, like the methods that would probably be like the best for me to study,
Sure.
depending on what the test looks like,
Okay. So just some extra help, note
Yeah, just like
taking
some, like helping me
extended time.
prepare and like
and
for the test and like, yeah, just like studying and stuff.
Great. This is all stuff we can definitely get further into. I just wanted to address that accommodations piece just to make sure that we're on track with how that assessment process would look for you.
Mhm.
You know, because like I said, we might have to do some extended assessments over on this end, just for the, you know, I know some programs you're required to take a test in order to get into the program
Mhm.
too. So just, you know, testing of course is
Yeah.
involved in everything in every way, so.
Yeah.
Great, so that's good to know, and, you know, I'll make note of that, we can address that or put that on the plan as well. And, if that's all I have, yep. So, okay, so we have met here today for the initial interview.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I was wondering if you would be comfortable with sharing, you know, summarizing a little bit about what we discussed today, just so I have a better picture of how you were able to take that in. And it was a lot of information, so
Yeah.
if you want to just, you know, run through some bullets.
So I think like what you started with was the fact that like it's a free resource, and you know in most situations it's a free resource for me.
Mhm.
And you're kind of like my one-on-one like
Right-hand
mentor.
man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You know there might be other people that sometimes need to help, but I'll be anonymous, I guess you could say, like they won't know who I am.
Mhm.
And in terms of like what you plan on helping me with, you know, just like doing more research on that CNA program, like the types, schools, you know, that offer it, things like that. Doing that sort of research, like the basics,
Mhm.
any applications I might need to do,
Mhm.
and then, you know, like helping me with like the long-term goals. So like,
Mhm.
you know, cars, like if I need a car, or if like you said, if I can master that public transportation eventually,
Mhm.
which is something that I think would be kind of cool if I could learn that.
Definitely.
And just like learning how to be like independent on my own and whatnot.
Mhm. Great, great. Definitely.
Great, is that it? All of it? Did I get it all?
Definitely, that was wonderful. I just want to reiterate one last piece, which I was going to say at the end anyway, because it's our next step, you know, like after this session or after this interview. You know, like I said before, that eligibility determination piece. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so I'm going to actually give you one of these forms, and then you can, it's just a request note
Okay.
letter from me,
Okay.
and you can provide that or give that to your doctor, and then they're gonna know what form to provide you with that documents your disability.
Okay.
And then you can come back here and I can get that approved for you for the services and notify you of when everything's been approved.
Okay.
And once you come in, we can also start setting up some weekly scheduled sessions, and you know, I can give you my phone number, and you know, we can really start to develop this process and
Great.
really get
Perfect.
down to it.
I'll get all of this straightened out.
Okay, wonderful. Are there any other questions or concerns that you have in mind?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, all right. Well, Diana, it was
Yeah.
such a pleasure meeting
It was
you.
great meeting you, Sarah.
I'm really excited to begin working with you.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Yeah, we'll see you, you know, next time you come in. We'll talk then, all right?
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, take
Have a
care.
good day.
Yeah, you too.